I've spoken to some of you guys, I've interacted in passing, and you have a rationale for why, or a few rationales for why you don't like Trump, and why you may even be okay with Kamala and or any other left-wing politician, and why you are espousing left-wing viewpoints, or I don't know, social left-wing viewpoints, etc., etc. I just want to tell you, Trump, even if you want to say that in his life he has done things with women, he has operated in the gray area in business, he has been aligned with or associated with shady people in business, all that stuff. My friends, I can tell you, even if he's done all that stuff, I can tell you one thing he hasn't done, ever. And I know this for a fact. He hasn't worshipped Satan. Folks, the people that you're thinking about voting for, or you may have already voted for, and their friends in the media and in Hollywood, like I'm talking about actors, right? I'm not talking about Jews. I'm not spreading any anti-Semitic canards. I'm talking about actors, and I'm talking about politicians in the Democratic Party, and probably at least half of the, Republican Party, so-called Republican Party, which is basically rhinos, and they comprise, between them and the Democrats, they comprise the Uniparty. They literally, folks, as much as I go to Lehavdil, like a synagogue on Shabbat, these people go wherever they go on a particular designated day during the week, and they do what they do to the Satan. I know this for a fact, okay? And so what do? Because of that, they must accuse their opponent, namely Trump, and anybody else really, but first and foremost Trump, of being what? Of being Hitler, of being a fascist, of being an anti-Semite. The person who moved the embassy to Jerusalem, the person who acknowledged the Golan Heights officially, the person who declared Judea and Samaria as not being illegal, who basically recognized Judea and Samaria, the person who defunded every single Palestinian entity on earth, the person who killed the Iran deal, who basically almost effectively bankrupted Iran, the person who killed Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, the person who killed Soleimani. The list goes on and on. Whose daughter is an Orthodox Jew, who went to the Ohel, who himself went to the Ohel, who has Orthodox Jewish grandchildren, and an Orthodox Jewish son-in-law, who every single Orthodox Jew is voting for. They must call him that, because that's what they are. They're the ones coming and saying that Israel has to do a proportionate response, right? That there's settler violence. Folks, who are the so-called settlers? These are people who live in God's country, in Judea and Samaria. Why do you think they're coming after them? Because they hate God. They hate the Torah, they hate God, they hate Israel, and which means that they effectively hate Jews without actually saying it. They love Islamism, they love the enemies of Israel and the Jewish people. They allow them to come into the country and shoot Orthodox Jews walking on Shabbos as the guy screams Allahu Akbar, and then they bury the story in the media. When an Orthodox rabbi is shot in Poway, California, and he comes on television and he talks about how the Lubavitcher Rebbe has to, said that we have to let children pray before each day, or think about God before each day, they cringe. Anderson Cooper, who's a Vanderbilt, cringed. His face looked like it was about to collapse on itself, my friends. This is who they are, and because of that's who they are, they have to accuse their opponent of being basically what they are. It's called the woke law of projection, or as I like to call it, the Satanist law of, flipping the script. What is it? The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world that he didn't exist? I'd like to say he convinced the world that someone else is the devil. My friends. So, I'm not even getting started, or I might, about the whole thing with communism. I'm not even getting started on that. I'm not even telling you that your parents obviously understand where this is all going. Your parents who lived in the Soviet Union, obviously, I would like to think most of them understand that the tactics the Democrats have used have been Bolshevik tactics, where 5 or 10% of the population seizes control or terrorizes the rest of the population into thinking and acting in a way that they want them to act, into adhering to stupid policies like ESG and DEI and CRT and LGBTQ and X, Y, and Z and derivative and integral of, A, I, O, U, and sometimes Y. W, X, Y, Z, elemental P. My friends, I'm not even getting started on that. But I will, I'm going to mention it in passing. I just did. Get your heads out of your asses. Because if you don't, your skulls are going to be piled up. If you don't, if that thing is not dislodged from your ass, it's going to turn into a skull and it's going to be piled up like Pol Pot piled it up. Folks, this is where this is leading to. If the right person is not elected, or at least the wrong person is not kept out, this is today will be the beginning of that process, my friends. Mark my words. Mark my flippin' words. And you have been severely misinformed. You've been severely, brainwashed. And you want to believe it. You want to believe that this guy is horrible, that he's a Nazi and he's Hitler and he's a felon. Shut up. Debili. The guy who helped Israel and Jews the most out of any flippin' president on God's green earth is apparently a Nazi and an anti-Semite. Well, he surrounds himself with it. Folks, he met with people a couple of times, and then he said that he disavowed them. Well, meanwhile, you have the other person, who you just probably voted for, talking about proportionate response. Yeah, we think that Israel should defend itself, but, folks, there are no buts here. There's no but. There's no B-U-T. There's no but. The only but is where your head is in. There's no but. When it comes to Israel, there's no but. They attacked us, they massacred us, and now F-A-F-O. F around and find out. This is what they have to do. They have to around and they have to find out. Now they're finding out. Gaza, Hezbollah, south of Lebanon, Iran eventually, my friends. This is what needs to happen. There's no proportionate response. Proportionate what? Proportionate nothing. And this is what, and Trump is all for Israel taking care of what needs to be taken care of. And he says, yeah, you got to wrap it up. And it's true. You got to wrap it up. Do it as fast as possible. This could have been done faster. Do it clean, do it good, and wrap it up. Because the longer it goes, the more Jewish men, young men, God forbid, leave this world, leaving families behind, leaving children behind. And you support the candidate that would enable that crap. Proportionate response. Settler violence. My friends, they hate God. They hate God. The people that you voted for, or that you're considering voting for, they hate God. They hate God, they hate the Torah, they hate the Bible, they hate the Jews. They hate us. Trump does not. Trump feels the opposite. Okay? Guaranteed. And you could say, well, Tzvi, it's not just about one issue. Folks, it is about this one issue. It is. It is. It really is. This is all there is. This is all there is. Everything stems from this. Вытащи голову из жопы и иди голосовать за Трампа. Если ты не сделаешь, Твоя голова будет как those skulls. Sorry, folks, I just want to speak to my Russian-speaking friends in a language they can understand even better, more effectively. Вытащи голову из задницы. Проснись, дебил. I say it with love. Alright, guys. Zat Hashem. We'll have another Purim story. And Amalek, Kamala Amalek, same letters, Gematria 240, which is also Sofek. Sofek will be eliminated. Amalek will be eliminated. And we move from here. Alright, guys. Happy voting. Talk to you soon.